In a striking legal development that reaffirms the constitutional protections of a free press, a U.S. District Judge has ordered the White House to restore access to Associated Press journalists after months of being barred from presidential events. Welcome to In the Know News, where we bring you powerful stories that shape our democracy and our world. Today's story is a sharp reminder of the delicate balance between political power and press freedom in the United States. This all began when the Trump administration issued a controversial executive order shortly after taking office, renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. The Associated Press, committed to journalistic standards and factual accuracy, refused to adopt the administration's new terminology in its reporting. The fallout was swift. The White House responded by restricting the AP's access to key presidential events, including press briefings and travel on Air Force One, effectively locking out one of the most respected and long-standing news organizations in the country. But on Tuesday, U.S. District Judge Trevor McFadden, himself appointed by President Trump during his first term, ruled that these restrictions were unconstitutional, violating the First Amendment's guarantee of free speech. In his written decision, Judge McFadden was unequivocal. The court simply holds that under the First Amendment, if the government opens its doors to some journalists, be it to the Oval Office, the East Room, or elsewhere, it cannot then shut those doors to other journalists because of their viewpoints. The Constitution requires no less. This is not just a legal ruling. It's a reaffirmation of a principle that lies at the heart of American democracy. The government cannot retaliate against journalists for the words they choose or the facts they report. The Associated Press had argued precisely that in its lawsuit against three senior Trump administration officials, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, and Deputy Chief of Staff Taylor Budowich, saying the administration's actions were retaliatory and viewpoint-based. Initially, in February, Judge McFadden had declined to immediately restore AP's access, but his latest ruling makes it clear. The administration's stance cannot stand unchallenged in a constitutional democracy. However, he did pause the enforcement of his ruling until Sunday, giving the administration's legal team time to file an appeal. Lauren Easton, a spokesperson for the AP, expressed relief and satisfaction with the decision, stating, "Today's ruling affirms the fundamental right of the press and public to speak freely without government retaliation. This is a freedom guaranteed for all Americans in the U.S. Constitution." The ruling also drew support from major press freedom advocates. Jamil Jaffer, executive director of the Knight First Amendment Institute at Columbia University, described the opinion as careful, well-reasoned, and underscored that excluding the AP from the press pool was clearly unconstitutional. The Trump administration has maintained that the Associated Press is not entitled to special access and stood by the executive order renaming the Gulf. The White House argued that the new term, Gulf of America, was meant to emphasize national pride and geographic ownership, calling it an indelible part of America. The AP, however, made it clear that it would continue to use the internationally recognized term Gulf of Mexico, while acknowledging the administration's position. This case sets a powerful precedent, highlighting the judiciary's role as a critical check on executive overreach. It also reinforces the role of a free press in holding leaders accountable, even in the face of political pressure and retaliation. In an age of misinformation and increasing tensions between media and government, Tuesday's ruling sends a loud and clear message. In America, truth and freedom of expression are not negotiable. Thank you for watching In the Know News, where facts matter and your right to be informed is our top priority. Stay tuned as we continue to follow this story and others that impact our rights, our freedom, and our future.